We commemorate the lives of those who perished on 9/11/2001. We pray for the families who carry on their legacies, and we honor the bravery of our first responders. We also commend those who following the attack, served our country and continue to risk their lives in defense.
Lone Star Kawasaki Ag Equipment is your South Texas headquarters for all your hunting, farming, ranching, and lawn care needs. In addition to our line of Kawasaki Mule side-by-sides and Kawasaki ATVs, we carry Massey Ferguson tractors, Bush Hog implements, Hustler turf mowers, Armstrong Ag Equipment, Big Tex, and CM trailers. Our dealership is located in Hondo, Texas, near San Antonio. Call Lone Star Kawasaki and Ag Equipment at 830-426-3701. Proud supporters of the Hennes Athletics.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Hello folks, do you need a structure built out of steel? Then look no further than Mark Rodriguez with QMAC Metal Buildings, a D'Hanis native who comes from a small town and knows that a handshake means something. QMAC Metal Buildings has put up thousands of buildings, making America great one building at a time. We don't just specialize in putting up steel buildings. We do any steel structure you may need. Cattle guards, mobile shelters, stairs, banks, schools, all the above. If you have an existing building that needs to be torn down, we do that as well. We can tear them down, put them up, repair leaks, anything you need. So get on cue with QMAC Metal Buildings. But most importantly, go Cowgirls!
The Hondo National Bank. During these crazy times we are going through, it is comforting to know that at the Hondo National Bank, you have options to help make your life easier. Options like mobile deposit, online banking, and online bill pay. And all these things can be done using the Hondo National Bank app on your mobile device. At the Hondo National Bank, we strive to bring you the latest technology to make your life easier. The Hondo National Bank, your friend, your neighbor, your banker. Member FDIC. The Hondo National Bank, located downtown Hondo, Texas.
Venetary Excursions. The goal at Venetary Excursions is to provide the most memorable, once-in-a-lifetime experiences over and over again. Venetary Excursions has a collection of unique and beautiful properties offering 5-star accommodations and top-shelf hospitality. Whether you're looking for a genuine hunting experience, an epic offshore fishing trip, bay fishing at its finest, or a place to host an event of any size, Venetary would be glad to accommodate you. Give them a call, they will handle the rest. 210-865-1423. 90s Taco Store, now open, family-owned Mexican restaurant and drive-thru. 90s Taco Store in D'Hanis, Texas has daily breakfast taco specials and daily lunch specials. If you're thirsty, they have plenty of cold beverages and margaritas. Feel free to call your order in at 830-988-4515. Good evening, everyone. And we are here live from Royal College Gymnasium for tonight's district volleyball game between the visiting Brackett Tigers and your D'Hanis Cowgirls. Cowgirls are coming in off a sweep of Sabinal, and Brackett won over Canepa on Tuesday night. D'Hanis comes in with a record of 8-2 and 1-0 in district play. In earlier action today, we had the D'Hanis freshmen win over Brackett 25-2, 25-20. D'Hanis JV won 25-15, 25-20. Last night we had junior high volleyball. Junior high B team won over Utopia. They lost the first set 26-28, won the final two 25-21, 15-7. And the junior high A team won as well. And I misplaced those scores, but they won in 2 games. And tomorrow we have cross country. They'll be heading off to Bandera early in the morning. And we'll also have the D'Hanis Cowboys season kicks off tomorrow night live here on D'Hanis Athletics. Pre-game begins at 6:45, game time 7 p.m. versus Brackett. And at this time, we'd also like to thank all of our sponsors, because without them, none of this would be possible. We'd like to thank Lone Star Kawasaki Nag Equipment, Medina Electric Co-op, Hondo National Bank, Venator Excursions, 90s Taco Store, and QMAC Erectors. Cowgirls are getting started here a little bit early as both games finish quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce your D'Hanis Cowgirls. Under head coach Courtney Rodriguez, assistant coach Gina Wools, number 2 sophomore Mabry Herman, number 4 senior Natalie McFadden, number 5 sophomore Kayla Ruiz, number 6 senior Katie Self, number 7 sophomore Jolie Frosch, number 8 freshman Peyton Burrow, number 10 junior Addie Harkins, number 12 senior Victoria Carter, number 14 junior Tony Burrow, number 15 freshman Maddie Rodriguez. Once again, the Cowgirls coming in off a win off of Sabinal this past Tuesday night. They'll be back in action next Tuesday versus Utopia. And once again, earlier action, D'Hanis freshmen won 25-2, 25-20 over Brackett. D'Hanis JV won 25-15, 25-20. And we're fixing to get started here. Start the second district game of the season between the D'Hanis Cowgirls and the Brackett Tigers. Tigers started the season off with a 1-0 record in district as they defeated Canepa, and the Cowgirls won over Sabinal Tuesday night. Both are 1-0. And the front for the Cowgirls, you have number 15, Maddie Rodriguez, Jolie Frosch, this week's SA Express News Player of the Week. Number 2, Mabry Herman. In the back row, Victoria Carter, Peyton Burrow, and Natalie McFadden. And it looks like we're ready to get started here. Starting a little early today. Both JV games finished quickly, so they're moving along fast. Number 4 with the serve to McFadden. Peyton Burrow bumps it. Frosch sends a free ball over. Number 2 bumps it. 4 with the setup, blocked at the net. Great effort by Burrow. She had a great dive, but somebody was on the net for Brackett, so it's going to be a point for the Cowgirls. And number 2, Mabry Herman serving for D'Hanis. Ball's up and over. Hit to the libero. Number 2 with the back road hit into the net. And it's another point for D'Hanis. Cowgirls off to a quick 2-0 lead. And Mabry Herman serving for the Cowgirls. Ball's up and over. Maddie Rodriguez bumps it for the back row. McFadden hits it over. And McFadden with a great dig and couldn't play it off the net. It's going to be a point for the Tigers. Number 11 checks in for number 5 for Brackett. She'll be coming in to serve. Kayla Reese checks in for Mabry Herman. Number 11 with the serve. Ball's up and over and out of bounds. Jolie Frosch will be serving for the Cowgirls. Brentley Portnier checks in for Peyton Burrow. Once again, congratulations to Jolie Frosch. She was this week's SA Express News Player of the Week. Frosch with the serve. Frosch bumps it up to Maddie Rodriguez, sends it over. And great effort by Brackett. They tried to get it over. Didn't quite make it. 4-1 Cowgirls. Frosch serving. Ball's up and over. Dug up by the libero. Number 2 sends it over to McFadden. Frosch with the setup to Maddie Rodriguez and sends it over and in between a couple of Tigers. And it's a point for DeHennis. Cowgirls with the 4-point lead here early in the first set. Ball's up and over. Nice hard serve by Jolie Frosch. Blocked at the net by Rodriguez. Tipped by Portnier. And it's a point for DeHennis. I'm not sure what that sign by the referee meant. Still need to get caught up on my volleyball terminology. And Jolie Frosch still serving for the Cowgirls. 6-2 DeHennis with the 4-point lead still here in the early in the first set. McFadden. Frosch at the setup to Carter, pushes to the corner, and it's going to be a point for Brackett. Great dig by Kaler. Frosch at the setup to Victoria Carter, and it's hit into the net. And the Cowgirls lead is cut down to 2. Number 10 serving for Brackett. Ball's up and over and out of bounds. Katie Self to check in for Natalie McFadden. In the front, you have Katie Self, Brentley Portnier, Victoria Carter, Jolie Frosch, Caitlin Ruiz, and serving Maddie Rodriguez for DeHennis. Ball's up and over. And hit by number 7 to Self. Pushed to the corner by Frosch, and it's a point for DeHennis. Maddie Rodriguez serving for the Cowgirls. Ball's up and over. Number 2 with the dig, 4 with the setup to number 8, and hits the net. Maddie Rodriguez serving for the Cowgirls. 9-4 DeHennis with the lead. Ball's up and over. Libero with the hit. Number 4 with the free ball. Maddie Rodriguez. Frosch with the setup to look like a setup for Carter. Little miscommunication there. And Brackett's going to earn the point there. So it's a 9-5 lead for the Cowgirls. And Addie Harkins checks in for Maddie Rodriguez. And number 8 set to serve for the Tigers. And it's out of bounds. Cowgirls with a 5-point lead. Mabry Herman checks in for Kayla Reese. Katie Self, Mabry Herman, Bentley Portnier in the front. Jolie Frosch, Addie Harkins, and Victoria Carter now serving for the Cowgirls. Nice hard serve into the net. And the Cowgirls lead is now 4. Number 2 serving for Brackett. Ball's up and over. Carter. Frost with the bump to Mabry Herman with a nice hard hit, blocked at the net, and it's out of bounds. It's a point for Brackett. 10-7 lead for the Cowgirls. Number 2 still serving for the Tigers. Harkins with the dig. Frost with the setup to Mabry Herman, who hits a nice hard hit, but they're saying it was tipped, so it's going to be a point for the Cowgirls. And that brings up Brentley Portnier, serving for the Cowgirls. Ball's up and over. Portnier to Carter and Self sends a free ball over. Number 7 blocked by Herman. Frost, Portnier with the setup to Carter from the back row. And it's going to be a point for the Tigers. And Peyton Burrow will check in back for Brentley Portnier. Libero with the serve to Burrow. Self sends it over. Carter. Frost with the setup to Mabry Herman. Nice hard hit off the rim. And it's going to be a point for the Cowgirls. Carter shot a three-pointer and nearly went in off the rim. Katie Self serving for the Cowgirls. Dennis with the 12-8 lead. Ball's over and out of bounds. Natalie McFadden checks in for Katie Self. Number 4 serving for Brackett. Ball's over. Burrow. Frost tips it over and finds an open spot. It's a 13-9 lead for Dehennis. Herman with the serve. Number 2 with the dig. 4 with the setup. Herman with the great save. Frost with the setup to Victoria Carter. Is a nice hard hit to number 2. Burrow. Frost to Maddie Rodriguez. Number 2 with the nice hard hit. Out of bounds. Cowgirls with the 5-point lead. Mabry Herman serving for the Cowgirls. And it's going to be out of bounds. Herman with the serve. Nice hard serve to the libero. Number 10 with a nice hard hit. Great dig by McFadden. Frost with the save. Maddie hits the free ball over. Number 10 gives a little tap to Frost. Burrow with the setup. Sends it over. And it's out of bounds. It's going to be a point for Dehennis. And Herman still serving for the Cowgirls. She gets the okay for the serve. It's over. Libero digs that up. Number 10 with a nice hard hit into the net. And it's a point for Dehennis. Herman with the serve. Number 2. Punched over by number 4. Frost with the setup to Maddie Rodriguez. Off number 5. Number 2 saves it. Free ball. Herman. Frost to Victoria Carter. Blocked at the net. Burrow. Frost with the setup to Maddie Rodriguez. Off number 2, the libero. Number 2 saves it and sends it over. Frost with the setup to Mabry Herbert for the back row. Great play by both teams. Herman. Frost to Carter. And blocked. And lands out of bounds, but it's going to be a point for the Cowgirls. Herman with a nice hard serve. Herman, Frosch, Carter. And she finds a spot in the corner. It's going to be another point for the Cowgirls. And they now have a 10-point lead. Once again, Mabry Herman still serving for the Cowgirls. Ball's up and into the net. Ended her roll. She was on a roll there. Some consecutive serves. And Kayla Ruiz will check in for Mabry Herman. And number 11 will be serving for the Tigers. Ball's up and over. McFadden. Frosch with the setup for Maddie Rodriguez. And it's going to be landed to the net. And the Cowgirls now have a 10-point lead. And Brentley Poitier will check in for Peyton Burrow. And Jolie Frosch set to serve for DeHennis. Ball's up and over. Dug up by the libero. Frosch. Carter bumps it to Brentley. Sent over. Number 11 sent it over. Blocked at the net by Maddie Rodriguez. And DeHennis has a 21-10 lead. Here in the first set. Frosch with the serve. Number 11. 4 with the bump. And it's going to land out of bounds. Cowgirls up by 12. Ball's over. Set up. Number 2 with a nice hard hit. But they're going to say she was in the net. And it's a point for the Cowgirls. 23-10 lead for DeHennis. Here in the first set. Number 10. Oh, I stand corrected. It's a point for Brackett. 22-11. Number 10 with the serve to McFadden. Frosch with the setup to Maddie Rodriguez. And it's going to be out of bounds. Tony Burrow set to check in for Victoria Carter. So in the front you have Burrow, Frosch, Rodriguez. In the back row you have Ruiz, McFadden, and Portnier. Ball's up and over. Ruiz. Number 2 sends it back over to McFadden. Frosch with the setup to Maddie. Blocked at the net, but it lands in for the Cowgirls. And it's going to be a 23-12 for DeHennis. And Katie Self set to check in for Natalie McFadden. And Maddie Rodriguez will be serving for the Cowgirls once again. Maddie with a nice hard serve. Frosch. And miscommunication there between the Cowgirls leads to a Tiger point. Addie Harkins checks back into the game. And number 8 serving for Brackett. To Katie. Jolie. Burrow. And it's out of bounds. It's going to be a point for the DeHennis. Cowgirls are 1 point away from winning the first set here. Cowgirls lead 24-13. Mabry Herman checks in for Kayla Reese. And Tony Burrow serving for the Cowgirls. Nice hard serve to the libero. Number 4 with a nice hard hit. Burrow. Great save by Addie and nobody else there. Brackett still surviving here in the first set. Cowgirls lead is cut to 10. And Victoria Carter will check in for Tony Burrow. Number 2 with the serve for Brackett to Addie Harkins. Frosch with the setup to Mabry Herman. A nice hard hit blocked. And Cowgirls are going to win this first set 25-14. And we'll be right back after these messages.
Lone Star Kawasaki Ag Equipment is your South Texas headquarters for all your hunting, farming, ranching, and lawn care needs. In addition to our line of Kawasaki Mule side-by-sides and Kawasaki ATVs, we carry Massey Ferguson tractors, Bush Hog implements, Hustler turf mowers, Armstrong Ag Equipment, Big Tex, and CM trailers. Our dealership is located in Hondo, Texas, near San Antonio. Call Lone Star Kawasaki and Ag Equipment at 830-426-3701. Proud supporters of Dejenes Athletics.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Hello, folks. Do you need a structure built out of steel? Then look no further than Mark Rodriguez with QMAC Metal Buildings, a Dejenes native who comes from a small town and knows that a handshake means something. QMAC Metal Buildings has put up thousands of buildings, making America great one building at a time. We don't just specialize in putting up steel buildings. We do any steel structure you may need. Cattle guards, mobile shelters, stairs, banks, schools, all the above. If you have an existing building that needs to be torn down, we do that as well. We can tear them down, put them up, repair leaks, anything you need. So get on cue with QMAC Metal Buildings. But most importantly, go Cowgirls!
The Hondo National Bank. During these crazy times we are going through, it is comforting to know that at the Hondo National Bank, you have options to help make your life easier. Options like mobile deposit, online banking, and online bill pay. And all these things can be done using the Hondo National Bank app on your mobile device. At the Hondo National Bank, we strive to bring you the latest technology to make your life easier. The Hondo National Bank, your friend, your neighbor, your banker, member.
We'd like to say thank you to all of our sponsors: Lone Star Kawasaki Ag Equipment, Medina Electric Co-op, Hondo National Bank, Venetary Excursions, 90s Taco Store, and QMAC Erectors. We're back here to start the second set here at Roy Cow Gymnasium as the Cowgirls won the first set 25-14. Earlier action, Dejenes freshmen won 25-2, 25-20 over Brackett, and the Dejenes JV won over Brackett 25-15, 25-20. And we're getting set to start the second set. And Katie Self will be serving for the Cowgirls. The ball is up and over. Nice hard hit by number 10, but it's out of bounds. Cowgirls off to a 1-0 lead. Self with the serve. Number 2 with the great dig. 8 with the setup. Sends it over. Carter Frosch to Mabry Herman. And she loses balance. And we're all tied up at 1. Katie Self checks out. Natalie McFadden checks in. Number 4 serving for Brackett. To Burrow. Jolie with the great save. And Mabry sends it over. Blocked to the net, but it lands in for Brackett. And Brackett has their first lead of today. Once again, the Cowgirls won the first set 25-14. Brackett currently leads here early in the second set 2-1. And number 4 serving for the Tigers. Ball's up and over. And out of bounds. And Mabry Herman will be serving for the Cowgirls. Ball's up and over. Dug up by the libero. Number 4 with the setup to number 8. Free ball sent over by Maddie Rodriguez. Number 10 with the hit to Mabry. Frosch to Carter with a nice hard hit. Carter at the net. And it's a point for the Cowgirls. The first set, Mabry Herman was on a roll. Scored multiple points for DeHennis. It's a nice hard hit. It's going to be another point for the Cowgirls. 4-2, DeHennis leads. Herman serving. Nice hard hit, but it's out of bounds. Number 11 checks in for Brackett. Kayla Reese checks in for DeHennis, and Mabry Herman checks out. Number 11 with the serve, and out of bounds. Five-3, DeHennis with the lead. And Jolie Frost serving for the Cowgirls. Sent to number 11. And it's going to be a point for DeHennis. Cowgirls with a 3-point lead here. And once again, the Cowgirls will be back in action Tuesday versus Utopia here. Frost with a nice hard serve. And 4 to number 10, who's blocked by Carter and Portnier. And it's a point for DeHennis. And Jolie Frost earns another point for DeHennis. Cowgirls with a 5-point lead. Cowgirls coming into the game 8-2 overall, 1-0 in district. Number 10 with a nice hard hit off the fingertips of Victoria Carter. Great effort by Frost. And the Tigers cut the lead to 4. Number 10 serving for Brackett. Off the top of the net, great effort by Kaler. She had a great dive. But the ref coach sends Frosch over to speak with the referee to see what's going on. Great dive, great effort by Kaler Luis. Not sure what they're trying to call there. Maybe they're talking about a restaurant. Not sure. But I'd like to send them one, or I'd like to send them over to 90s Taco Store. One of our sponsors, now open, family-owned Mexican restaurant and drive-thru. And they're going to get back set to play. Ball's up and over. Ruiz. Frost with the setup to Victoria Carter. It's a nice hard hit, and it's a point for DeHennis. Maddie Rodriguez serving for the Cowgirls. And it's another point for DeHennis. Rodriguez with the serve. Dug up by number 11. Great effort by number 7. Couldn't quite get to it. And the Cowgirls have a 7-point lead. Brackett's going to go ahead and call timeout. We're going to take a timeout with them. 90s Taco Store now open. Family-owned Mexican restaurant and drive-thru. 90s Taco Store in DeHennis, Texas has daily breakfast taco specials and daily lunch specials. If you're thirsty, they have plenty of cold beverages and margaritas. Feel free to call your order in at 830-988-4515. Venetary Excursions. The goal at Venetary Excursions is to provide the most memorable, once-in-a-lifetime experiences over and over again. Venetary Excursions has a collection of unique and beautiful properties offering 5-star accommodations and top-shelf hospitality. Whether you're looking for a genuine hunting experience, an epic offshore fishing trip, bay fishing at its finest, or a place to host an event of any size, Venetary will be glad to accommodate you. Give them a call and they will handle the rest. 210-865-1423. And we're back here, live action here. The second set, Cowgirls lead 12-5. Stand corrected, 10-5. Maddie Rodriguez, a nice hard serve, but it's going to be out of bounds. It's going to be a point for the Tigers. 10-6 lead for DeHennis. Here early in the second set, the Cowgirls won the first set 25-14. And number 8 set to serve for the Tigers. Ball's up and over. Harkins with the dig. Frosch with the setup to Victoria Carter. Hit into the stands and out of bounds. Number 8 serving for Brackett. Nice hard serve to Luis. Frosch with the bump. Self with the hit. And off the libero and out of bounds. Mabry Herman checks in for Kayla Ruiz. In the front now you have Mabry Herman, Katie Self, Victoria Carter. In the back row you have Addie Harkins, Jolie Frosch, and serving Victoria Carter. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Number 11, Brittany Portnier is in the front. Ball's up and over. And off the number 11 is going to be into the stands and point for DeHennis. Cowgirls with a 13-7 lead here. Carter with the serve off the libero once again and into the stands. And the Cowgirls have a 7-point lead. Carter serving for the Cowgirls. Nice jump serve into the net. Number 2 will be serving for the Brackett Tigers. In the front row for the Cowgirls, you have Jolie Frosch, Mabry Herman, Katie Self. In the back row, Brantley Portnier, Victoria Carter, and Addie Harkins. And saved by Carter. Frosch with the setup to Self. And in between two Tigers. Point for the Cowgirls. Brantley Portnier will be serving for DeHennis. Ball's up and over. Off the libero. Number 8 with the setup to number 6. Self. And Carter from the back row sends it off the top of the net. Carter with the bump. Frosch with the setup to Mabry Herman. And it's in for DeHennis. Cowgirls with the 8-point lead as they won the first set 25-14. Portnier with the serve. And the libero saves it for Brackett. And Herman at the net sends it over. And it's a point for DeHennis once again. Portnier serving. Ball's up, over. And Tigers find an empty spot in between a couple of Cowgirls. And leads to a Brackett point. DeHennis leads by 8, 17-9. Peyton Burrow checks in for Brantley Portnier. Libero with the serve. Carter. Frosch with the setup to Mabry Herman with a nice hard hit. And it lands in. And it's an 18-9 lead for DeHennis. Katie self-serving for the Cowgirls. Victoria Carter will check out, I believe, and Tony Burrow will check in. Ball's up and over. Dug away the libero. Number 2 sends it over from the back row. Frosch with the setup to Maddie Rodriguez and is out of bounds. Number 4 checks in for number 1 for Brackett. And Katie Self checks out while Natalie McFadden checks back in. In the front row, you have Maddie Rodriguez, Jolie Frosch, Mabry Herman. The back row, Tony Burrow, Peyton Burrow, and Natalie McFadden. Number 4 sends it over to Peyton. Frosch with the setup to Maddie Rodriguez. And it's going to be a point for DeHennis. And Mabry Herman set to serve for the Cowgirls once again. Ball's up and over off the libero and into the stands. And the Cowgirls are going to have a 10-point lead. Number 7 checks in for the libero. Herman serving for the Cowgirls. Not sure what happened. The referee calling for the captain from Brackett. Not sure what they're discussing. But Herman with a nice hard serve to number 7. 4 with the setup to number 10. Frosch tries to save it into the stands, and it's going to be a point for Brackett. Kayla Ruiz checks in for Mabry Herman. Cowgirls won the first set 25-14. Currently lead 20-11 here early in the second set. Nice hard serve off to Peyton Burrow. Frosch with the setup to Tony. Number 2 with a nice hard hit. Peyton. Frosch sends it over. And point for DeHennis. Cowgirls with a 10-point lead. And Jolie Frosch will be serving for the Cowgirls once again. And Brentley Portnier checks in for Peyton Burrow. Frosch with the serve. Dug up by number 7. 4 with the setup to number 10. McFadden. Frosch back to Tony Burrow. 4 tries to find a spot. Frosch with the save. Kaler bumps it. And Tony sends it right off the net. And it's going to be hit out of bounds and a point for DeHennis. Cowgirls with an 11-point lead here in the second set. And this week's SA Express News Player of the Week serving for the Cowgirls. And off the top of the net. And it's going to be a point for Brackett. In the front row for the Cowgirls, you have Jolie Frosch, Maddie Rodriguez, Tony Burrow. In the back row, you have Brentley Portnier, Natalie McFadden, and Kayla Ruiz. Number 10 with a nice serve. Rolls off the top of the net and lands in. Cowgirls up by 9. Portnier. And a great effort by Ruiz. Hits the ball to me. And it's going to be a 22-14 lead for the Cowgirls. And number 10 still serving for the Tigers. Nice hard serve, out of bounds. Maddie Rodriguez serving for DeHennis. Katie Self checks in, Natalie McFadden checks out. Cowgirls 2 points away from winning the second set here. Maddie with a nice jump serve. Dug up by number 2. 4 with the setup to number 7 with a nice hard hit, and it lands in for Brackett. Number 8 serving for the Tigers. Ball's up and over. Self, Frosch, Portnier hits it into the net. And the Cowgirls have a 7-point lead. Cut down by Brackett. Number 8 serving still for the Tigers. Ball's up and over. Ruiz. Frosch with the setup to Tony. Hit to the corner. Great dig by number 8. And a point for Brackett. Tigers cut the lead down to 6. Number 8 serving for Brackett. Ball's up and over. Great serve. Self with the sends it over. Brackett plays it off the net. Portnier sends it back to the corner. Addie Harkins. Frosch with the setup to Katie Self. Libero sends a free ball over. Harkins. Frosch with the setup to Portnier. And it's a point for the Hennis. Cowgirls won the first set 25-14. Currently lead 24-17. 1 point away from winning the second set. Kayla Ruiz checks out and Mabry Herman checks in. And Tony Burrow will be serving for the Cowgirls. Ball's up and over. Burrow. Frosch with the setup to Self. And it's going to be a point for the Hennis, and the Cowgirls are going to win the second set as they won the first set 25-14, 25-17. And we're going to be right back. We'll let our sponsors do a little talking.
Medina Electric Cooperative was built by this community more than 80 years ago to deliver safe, reliable, and affordable energy. We are proud to serve this community beyond the power lines. You can find us supporting your kids' Little League, sponsoring school events, hosting safety presentations, and more. We're honored to belong to this community. Keep up with Medina Electric from the power lines to the sidelines on social media or at medinaec.org.
Venetera Excursions. The goal at Venetera Excursions is to provide the most memorable, once-in-a-lifetime experiences over and over again. Venetera Excursions has a collection of unique and beautiful properties offering 5-star accommodations and top-shelf hospitality. Whether you're looking for a genuine hunting experience, an epic offshore fishing trip, bay fishing at its finest, or a place to host an event of any size, Venetera will be glad to accommodate you. Give them a call, they will handle the rest. 210-865-1423. Also like to thank 90s Taco Store, now open, family-owned Mexican restaurant and drive-thru. 90s Taco Store in Dehennis, Texas has daily breakfast taco specials and daily lunch specials. If you're thirsty, they have plenty of cold beverages and margaritas. Feel free to call your order in at 830-988-4515. And we're back here live. Start the third set here at Roy Kyle Gymnasium. Cowgirls won the first 2 sets 25-14, 25-17. In earlier action today, the Hennis freshmen won over Brackett 25-2, 25-20. And the Hennis JV won over Brackett as well, 25-15, 25-20. The Hennis will be back in action. Cowgirls will be back in action Tuesday versus Utopia here live on the Hennis Athletics. Tomorrow we'll have cross country in Bandera early in the morning. And tomorrow night, the Hennis Cowboys season kicks off tomorrow night. Once again, live here on the Hennis Athletics. Pre-game begins at 6:45. Game time 7 p.m. versus Brackett. Cowgirls once again coming in today's game 8-2 overall, 1-0 in district. Brackett won their first district game as well over Canepa. And we're set here. Get ready for the third set here, and number 4 will be serving for Brackett. Ball is up and over. And it's a point for the Cowgirls. Mabry Herman with a nice hard serve. McFadden, Frosch, back row, Herman with the hit. Rolls off to Herman. Frosch with the setup to Victoria Carter with a nice hard hit. And it's going to be a point for DeHennis. Herman serving for the Cowgirls. Ball's up and over. Number 4 with the setup to number 2, Herman. Frosch with the setup to Victoria Carter. Once again, blocked at the net by number 10. Frosch to Maddie Rodriguez. And it lands in for the Cowgirls. Cowgirls won the first 2 sets, 25-14, 25-17. Here early in the third set, Cowgirls are off to a 3-0 lead. Herman with the serve to the libero. Number 4 with the setup to number 10. Blocked by Carter at the net. Carter once again gets her fingertips, and it's going to land in for Brackett. Herman checks out. Kayla Ruiz checks in. In the front row, you have Victoria Carter, Maddie Rodriguez, Jolie Frosch. And the back row, McFadden, Ruiz, and Peyton Burrow. Number 3 serving for the Brackett Tigers. Ball's up and over to Burrow. Jolie Frosch with the setup to Maddie Rodriguez to number 3. And number 3 tries to send it over the net into her own teammate. It's going to lead to a Cowgirl point. Yeah, Jolie Frosch serving for DeHennis. Brentley Portnier checks in for Peyton Burrow. And number 2 hits it off herself twice. This will be a point for the DeHennis Cowgirls. Cowgirls off to a 3-point lead here in the third set. Once again, as they won the first 2 sets, 25-14, 25-17. Carter stands and waits for it at the net and slams it in. (6-2) DeHennis with the lead. Frosch with the serve. Number 2. 4 with the setup to number 10. Deflected at the net. McFadden saves it. Frosch bumps it to Kayla Ruiz. Number 10 blocked by Carter. Off Portnier. Great effort by Kayla. Dove for it, but it's going to be a point for the Tigers. Tigers cut the Cowgirls lead down to 3. Number 10 with the nice serve to Brentley. Frosch with the bump. Back row, Natalie McFadden sends it over. Portnier sends it back. And into the net. It's going to be a point for DeHennis. Once again, for y'all just tuning in, the Cowgirls won the first 2 sets, 25-14, 25-17. And currently lead here in the third set, 7-3. Jolie Frosch, this week's SA Express News Player of the Week, serving for the Cowgirls. Not sure what happened there, the little miscommunication, where Maddie is now serving for DeHennis. Natalie McFadden checks out. Tony Burrow checks in. Waiting for to get the okay from the referee. Frosch with a great dive. Tony sends it back over and use two hands. Going to be a point for Brackett. 7-4 lead for DeHennis. Number 6 with the serve for Brackett. Sorry, number 8. Dug up by Ruiz. Frosch with the setup to Victoria Carter. It's a nice hard hit into the net. Actually went over the net, but it was blocked, hit so hard you couldn't even tell. It's going to be a point for the Cowgirls. Carter with a nice hard serve, and it's out of bounds. Number 2 serving for Brackett. Ball's up and over. Carter. Jody Frosch sends it over. Carter. Frosch with the setup to Mabry Herman. Blocked and out of bounds. Going to be a point for the Cowgirls. Peyton Burrow will check in to serve. Brentley Portier checks out. Ball's up and over. Off the libero to number 5. Carter. Jolie sets it up for Tony. Nice hard hit. And a point for DeHennis. Peyton Burrow once again serving for the Cowgirls. DeHennis won the first 2 sets, 25-14, 25-17. And a little miscommunication there between the libero and number 8 leads to a Cowgirl point. Out of bounds. The libero serving for Brackett. Ball's up and over. Carter. Jolie sends it over. Number 8 sets it up for number 5. Tony. Frosch. Addy from the back row. Carter. Frosch sets it up for Mabry. Herman sends it over. Looked like she was going to lose her balance there, but somehow gets her fingertips to send it over, and it's going to be a point for the Cowgirls. Tony Burrow serving for DeHennis. Nice hard serve. Number 8 with the setup to number 10, Burrow. Frosch sends it over. And they're going to say she point for the Cowgirls. We have a 13-6 lead for them over DeHennis. And Burrow with a nice hard serve to the libero. Number 8 with the setup to number... Oh, they keep catching her with those 2 hands. Cowgirls with an 8-point lead. Cowgirls won the first 2 sets, 25-14, 25-17. Lead here in the third set, 14-6. Tony's nice soft serve this time. Jolie with the save, sent over by Herman. Burrow. Jolie with the bump, over, but it's out of bounds. 7-point lead for the Cowgirls. And Natalie McFadden checks in for Tony Burrow. In the front row, you have Mandy Rodriguez, Mabry Herman, Jolie Frosch. Back row, Victoria Carter, Peyton Burrow, and Natalie McFadden. Number 4 serving for Brackett. And it's out of bounds. Mabry with a nice hard serve. Burrow bumps it up. Free ball sent over by number 10. Peyton, Frost to Maddie. They're going to say number 0, which would be the libero. Not sure what they caught her on, but it's going to be a point for the Cowgirls. Herman with the serve. 4 sets it up for number 10. Frost, Maddie. Carter with a nice hard kill at the net. And it lands out of bounds. Point for Brackett. Cowgirls have an 8-point lead here. Number 11 serving for the Tigers. Ball's up and over. Kaler with the dig. Frost with the setup to Maddie. And it's hit into the stands. Peyton Burrow will check out as Bentley Portnier will check in. Jolie Frost serving for the Cowgirls. 17-8 for DeHennis. 17-8 lead for DeHennis. Off the fingertips of Carter as Reese and McFadden made a great effort to get to the ball. But it's going to be a point for Brackett. Hard serve, out of bounds. 9-point lead for the Cowgirls. And you have Maddie Rodriguez coming to serve. You're going to have Katie Self check in for Natalie McFadden. Referee checks his card and gives the okay to go. Maddie with a nice hard hit. Number 7 off her fingertips and finds a spot between a couple of Cowgirls. It's an 8-point lead for DeHennis. Maddie Rodriguez checks out. Addie Harkins checks back in. And number 8 still serving for Brackett. Ball's up and over. Harkins. Frost with the setup to Victoria Carter. Nice hard hit, and it lands in. Cowgirls with a 9-point lead. Cowgirls are 6 points away from winning this ball game. Herman checks in for Kayla Ruiz. Cowgirls won the first 2 sets, 25-14, 25-17. And lead here in the third set, 19-10. Carter with the serve. And Brackett had a little bit of trouble there. Cowgirls with a 10-point lead. Carter still serving. Carter with the serve off the top of the net, and it lands in. In the front row for the Cowgirls, you have Mabry Herman, Katie Self, Brittany Portnier, Jolie Frosch, Addie Harkins, and serving Victoria Carter. And it's out of bounds. Hit a little bit too hard. 10-point lead for the Cowgirls. And number 2 serving for Brackett. Number 2 with the serve to Carter. Frosch with the setup to Mabry Herman. The nice hard hit, and it's hit into the stands. And the Cowgirls have a 11-point lead, up 22-11. Once again, the Cowgirls will be back in action Tuesday versus Utopia here live on DeHennis Athletics. And Brentley Portnier checks in and she serves, and it's out of bounds. 10-point lead for DeHennis. Portnier checks out. Peyton Burrow checks back in. And the libero serving for Brackett. Ball's up and over. Carter. Frosch sets it up to Mabry Herman, who taps it into the net. Point for Brackett. It looked like Mabry mistimed her jump there. Ball's up and over to Carter. Frosch with the setup to Mabry. And there she goes. She finds an open spot in between a couple of Tigers. And the Cowgirls are back up by 10. Addie Harkins checks out. Maddie Rodriguez checks back in. And Katie Self serving for the Cowgirls. Ball's up and over. Dug up by the libero. Free ball sent over by number 2, Katie. Frosch with the setup to Rodriguez, and it's out of bounds. Natalie McFadden checks in for Katie Self. Number 4 serving for Brackett. Ball's up and over. Victoria Carter. Frosch, back row, Natalie McFadden sends it over. And it's a point for DeHennis. Cowgirls are 1 point away from winning this ball game. And Mabry Herman serving for the Cowgirls. Ball's up and over. Peyton, Frosch, Victoria Carter with a nice hard hit, and it's out of bounds. She went for the kill there. Just a little bit too much power. And number 11 will be serving for Brackett. Ball's up and over. Short to Kaler. Bumped up by Frosch. Victoria Carter with a nice hard hit. Hit way into the stands. And the Cowgirls are going to win this ball game. 25-14, 25-17, 25-15. And once again, we'd like to say thank you to all of our sponsors. Lone Star Kawasaki Ag Equipment, Medina Electric Cooperative, Hondo National Bank, 90s Taco Store, QMAC Rectors, and Venatura Excursions. Cowgirls will be back in action Tuesday night versus Utopia. We'll be back here live. Once again, you have cross country tomorrow morning and Bandera. And tomorrow night, live here in DeHennis Athletics, pregame begins at 6:45. Game time, 7 p.m. Your DeHennis Cowboys season opener versus Brackett. Until then, we'll see you. God bless and good night.